NFL says no to the Houston Texans. They will not be taking on the Chiefs. Are you upset? Should you be? Let's get into that. Plus, what I think is the most intriguing potential matchup to open the season that a lot of people appear to be scared of. Plus, we'll hear from Nico Collins, DeMeco Ryans. We got a lot to get into. Locker Room live right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock. Localize every time. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top two and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for
NFL says no to the Texans. Texans will not start the season Thursday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. They will not kick things off despite strong cases made by many, including Nick Wright. Some people at Sports Radio 610 perhaps thought this was the most intriguing matchup. I'll be honest with you. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. The Chiefs kind of bore me. And I don't say that as disrespect. I don't say that as they're not the most intriguing team in the NFL. I'm just kind of bored by it. Now, I think if you ask the people at NRG, specifically the people on the business side, I think starting the season on national TV against the marquee squad on Thursday, I think that's something that they probably would have preferred. Also think that from a competitive standpoint, you can make a case that would have been the best case scenario, because the thing that I find the most interesting when having these types of discussions and these types of conversations about, season openers and all that is sometimes I think the dialogue, it kind of turns into a notion that you think that, like last year, I thought Baltimore, it was fine to start against Baltimore with the first-year offensive coordinator, but sometimes it transforms into as if we're going schoolyard pickup style, and there's 32 teams up there, and you're saying, I want to play the Chiefs. The opponents are already set. So you're going to play the Chiefs no matter what. And you get them early. You've seen them in this situation lose. You've seen them beat the Patriots with Alex Smith back in the day when the Patriots were the Chiefs. You saw them lose to the Lions last year with Kelsey and Chris Jones out. And you also get an extra 10 days of rest, at least, probably, after your season opener. So you can make a case from a competitive standpoint, from a business standpoint. Texans fans might have, or Texans people in the building might have wanted this to be the game, but I'm not too disappointed in it. It would have been exciting, it would have been fun, but it doesn't really disappoint me too much at all that the Texans are not taking on the Chiefs. In fact, for me, and we'll get to some smoke perhaps when it comes to the Texans schedule. Something's going on with my co-host John Lopez. I've seen him with this look in his eyes and these comments, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe he knows something. I don't even put him on the spot. I just kind of read between the lines and I poke during the show. And if you missed the show, it's available on the Sports Radio 610 YouTube, In the Loop, Sports Radio 610. But I think there is a possibility that the Texans could be doing something that is perhaps the most unique NFL viewing that you can have. We'll get into that in the show. We'll get into we'll hear from DeMeco Ryans on a couple of things. We'll hear from Nico Collins. Nico Collins met with Aaron Wilson he addressed his contract situation. So we'll get to that. If you have any comments, get them in there as well, and we'll get to those. But for me, the most intriguing as we talk about the schedule, and the schedule is going to get released on Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Texans versus Jets is the most intriguing season opener for me. I thought that if you told me that I could pick any season opener, I would like to open the season against the Jets, whether it's on Monday Night Football, whether it's on Sunday Night Football. Give me that. I think that's a lot of hype. It's a lot of buzz. You get the game in New York out of the way. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to return to MVP form. CJ Stroud returns to the scene of the crime. I'm sure there's some Texans fans that would get tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers, rightfully so. But I just think between the Stephon Diggs, Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, the Robert Saleh, DeMeco Ryans connection, and just all the attention that would come with it. I just think that would be the most intriguing game for me. Now I hear some of the arguments on the internet, and I posted this, and I heard people say, well, you don't want to face them before you want to face the Jets before the bye week. What kind of dumbass reasoning is that? That I don't get. I mean, maybe it's just kind of a recency thing. Maybe it's just like an overreaction because you saw Aaron Rodgers get hurt early. You saw CJ get hurt against the Jets. The playing surface isn't great. They probably could do a lot better. But do you honestly think that because with this line of reasoning, and I know the answer to this question because, there's a lot of colleagues, there's a lot of fan bases like in these areas that I'm familiar with. But do you think, like, as the schedule, as we're anticipating the release of the schedule, do you think the Cowboys, Eagles, and Washington are sitting there as the schedule's about to be released? All the NFC East teams sitting there saying, God, please let us play the Giants before the bye week. We've got to play the Giants before the bye week. Oh my gosh, we've got to do that. Same stadium. You think in the AFC East, the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins are sitting there saying, my God, if anything, we've got to face the Jets before the bye week. I think that's one of the dumbest thought processes that there is. I think you get that game out of the way. It's not in cold weather. Your legs are fresh. You're ready to go, and you get it out of the way. Like, teams have opened in New York against the Jets, and injuries happen in football. But the notion that you've got to face the Jets before the bye week, that's trying to do too much. That's just trying to do too much. There's nothing. You got to do it. Get it out of the way. Get all the attention. Get the buzz. It's a beatable squad. Get it out of the way. At all. I just don't. I don't get that line of thinking. So for me, the most exciting thing would be the Jets. Chef disagrees. He says Jets just aren't an exciting matchup to see against us. Honestly, I'll take them in a random 12 noon any week this season. Oh, you would get some excitement. I promise you. The return of Aaron Rodgers, the fact that they kicked your ass last year, regardless of the why. DeMeco and Saleh, one of DeMeco's mentors in Robert Saleh, the Sauce Stingley debate that we always have. Stephon Diggs and Sauce have drama. Seen that in prime time. If that's not enough excitement for you, I don't know what. Give me. I mean, I don't think there's too many more exciting than that. Especially given the fact we don't know what the Jets are going to be. So there's going to be that hype train. So if that's not an exciting matchup, then I don't know what to tell you, sir. I don't know what to tell you. I think it is trying to do too much. Talk about bye week, because I can promise you that those 6 teams aren't sitting there crossing their fingers hoping that. That's just trying to sound smarter than you really are, in my opinion. You got to play the Jets before the bye week. Okay, what? Really? Why? That? Yeah, I just don't. I don't really get that. I mean, so when you're banged up, when you're more banged up, you want to go out there. Do you want to do it when you're fresh? Like that doesn't make sense. That's just trying to sound smart to me. I don't get you. But yeah, the field does suck. I will agree with that. But yeah, I think it is trying to do too much. So I think a lot of times when we talk about this stuff, there's a little bit of confusion in that I think some people don't understand that the opponents are already set. And I'm not judging you. But Green Vibe and Beat says Jets in Houston, not in Jersey. That is incorrect. Let's just pull up the in case some of you may not know. Some of y'all might not follow it as much. The opponents at NRG Stadium are going to be Ravens, Bills, Dolphins, Bears, Lions, then the divisions, and then you're going to the Jets. So that's already a done deal. You can see it right here. That's already a done deal. So yeah, you're going to Dallas, Green Bay, Minnesota, Kansas City, Jets, New England. I mean, it's a tough ass schedule. To say the very least, very, very, very tough schedule. So that's just kind of where I'm at with the Jets thing. Quit trying to do too much, folks. Quit trying to do too much. There. At all. Oscar B says thoughts on Cody Stoots being a virgin. Let me just tell you that you're absolutely insane if you think that's true. You are. I promise you. I don't know what you look like, Oscar B. That's a nice profile pic. You are a pretty O, and you are pretty nice. It looks like a nice shape though. You're a beautiful O since you're such a handsome slinger. But I would be willing to bet he's been with more chicks than you. I would be willing to bet that. Don't sleep on that. He can sling it around a little bit. I'm telling you, man. I'm not making that up. Nico Collins, contract extensions. Should they or shouldn't they? I put out the video on Friday when I was in Hawaii. Aaron Wilson caught up with him. Let's hear what Nico Collins has to say about a potential contract extension with the Houston Texans.
That's everybody's dream. To hear that from Nick, man, means a lot. I feel like for me, just got to continue to head down, continue to work on my game, continue to improve every day, and continue to chase my end goal.
I feel like there's a time for business that you guys can do something.
What, me?
Yeah, you and the Texans, yeah.
Whatever, man. I'm down for whatever. I ain't saying no money, but for me, I feel like my head down, man. I'm just working on myself, and everything gonna come.
You had a great season. Can you take it even high? What do you think you can do more?
Man. That's the only way. All the wings up. Can't go down. Can't backtrack. Got to elevate.
All right. So should the Texans extend Nico Collins? Yay or nay? Do you think that the Texans should? I don't know how much more the number is going to go up. If Nico Collins has a really, really good season, what are you going to get? You give him 25, 26, maybe? I mean, you're going to give him Devontae Smith, like somewhere between Devontae Smith and Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Now, what if he goes back to not being able to stay on the field? What if the production drops off? Still probably going to pay him pretty well because both sides have leverage, but it's not an open market. The Texans can franchise tag him, and then they can negotiate. And from his point of view, there might be more desperation depending on what happens with Diggs and wide receiver. You're going to need a lot of wide receivers. I would not extend Nico Collins at this point. I don't get it. And when I hear and see some of the dialogue online, and I'm just judging it like Texans Twitter, text line, YouTube, Twitch during the show, a lot of times it almost feels like it's not being looked at as from the perspective of there's a salary cap. You have to distribute salary cap money wisely. It's not baseball where you can just give anyone any amount of money. And you got to be wise on when you do and don't give contract extensions, especially when you have a young core of players that are eventually going to demand top of the market type of deals at their position. And they also play some really, really elite positions. So when I see and I hear some people say, yeah, give Nico Collins $25 million. Give Nico Collins $25 million. Are you saying this because you're there's like a jock sniffing nature and you've kind of grown fond of Nico Collins because of how good he was last year? Or are you saying this because you think that would be smart when it comes to filling that pie, that contract type of pie? BS, appreciate you, me friend. Because that's my thing. I said, yeah, go get the bag, Nico. Like, okay, are you his cousin? Are you like, do you think it's a smart move financially? It's not about getting in players' pockets. Again, this isn't baseball. It's about distributing the money wisely. And it's about a guy that has had one good year. And if you are going to give him extension, you don't want the Titus Howard thing to happen again. Because from a player's point of view, sometimes you want to get your extension because if you get injured, then the team gets the leverage. Now, Titus Howard last year, good for him. Like from his perspective, good for him. He ended up, getting an extension. He got paid as an elite player, although I don't know that he has shown that he's elite at tackle. He's shown he's okay. And he got hurt. And fortunately for him, he got that money. So from that perspective of the player gets it done before, it worked out for him. From the Texans' perspective, and teams aren't going to say, if he gets hurt, then blah, 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 because that's always a possibility. But from their perspective, I mean, it probably would have been cheaper. So if you're throwing out the number, let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about this. If you're throwing out the number $25 million, do you think it's going to go much more than that? Like, what are you envisioning happening this year? Are you envisioning Nico Collins going up there and putting up better numbers? And I'm not even saying he has to put up better numbers to show that he's a better receiver. Like he had an elite year last year. He had a really good year last year. But if he duplicates that, or if he does better, how much more is he getting? Like, is he going to get 30 million like Amon-Ra St. Brown? Are we going that far? And what if he kind of comes down to earth? What if he misses? I mean, he's already missed 12 games in 3 years, and that's not counting when he's hobbled up and he's going back in the locker room or whatever. If he comes down to earth, then you're probably getting something like closer to 20, 18. I don't know. I mean, clearly CJ Stroud wants him here. Clearly he's going to be a long-term piece, but it's about filling that pie. Like if you give him $25 million and then he ends up getting hurt or he ends up kind of dropping off a little bit, what are you doing? How much higher is it going to go up? Now from Nico's perspective, maybe Nico Collins wants to go in there and get something done, in that range, that 20 whatever range. And I think that would be a win for both sides. Because I do think Nico's a good player. I do think Nico's a hard worker. I do think Nico Collins is a guy that CJ Stroud trusts. But I do think that's also something where, if you're sitting here, hey, give him the bag. Why? Like, what? Do you know him? Like, what was it? Was it like that magical for you? Like, what are we doing here? It confuses me. Yeah, go get it. Go get paid, brother. Okay. Like, I mean, good for him. I mean, that I'll be happy for him, but I mean, I'm more worried about them than him, to be honest. I want him to go ball out and then get paid. Teams have leverage. This isn't an open market. That's the other thing. I keep it, well, the price could go up. The price could go up? Really? Franchise tag him. And then you negotiate and figure something out if something goes down. It happens all the time. Daniel says, let's wait and see on Nico. Nico will also be a free agent. We can franchise. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like if it were like some sort of open market and you're keeping him off the open market, good. But that's why the NFL is the best league, because it's team driven and the teams have a lot of leverage. That's why NFL is king. Andrew, you want to give him Devontae Smith deal? 3 years, $75 million. Okay. Let's just pretend he has the best season that he could possibly have. Let's say he's top 5 in yards, top 6 or 7 in catches. The yards per catch remains the same. He's going to get Devontae Smith contract? Is he going to get much more than that? Because for me, that is, I mean, that's a great deal for him. Is that a great deal for them? Are they going to go much higher than that? Kind of seems like a lot. So we'll see. I just don't get the. Yeah, see, and Mario's saying 3 years, 75 if he balls out. That's what I think. So like when we're talking like we're throwing out like 25, 30, why? On his payroll, he was like baby daddy or something. Like, what are you doing, man? Some of this jock sniffing stuff, just you kind of blind yourself. You kind of blind yourself to the reality of filling out the roster. We'll see how it goes. But I'm intrigued by it, and I look forward to seeing what Nico Collins does. I just don't. I'll just end with this question: what's the point? Now, if it's going to be some sort of team friendly type of thing, and it's going to be good for both sides, okay. But throw him the Devontae Smith money right now for one good year. Throw him like St. Brown. Why? Let's see what Tank looks like too. I just don't. I don't understand the reasoning for that. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans talking about primetime games and what he thinks about them. And warning, DeMeco is about to go Hardo head coach.
We want to see the Texans nationally.
And when the schedule is released, whatever it is, we're excited to go play ball. And I don't care where it is, when it is, like our team will be ready to go. We're excited about every game. There's not one game that's, that I look at more so than the other, right? Every game is important. We're trying to stack more in the win columns, right? That's what it's all about for me. Schedule release is a part of it. It's a lot of hoopla about and speculation about who's playing where, prime time. For me, again, I always say when the ball is kicked off, we don't care how many cameras are on us. We don't care what network has the game. Like, we're trying to be the best football team on the field that day. All the outside stuff, it really doesn't matter to us. It's just noise, right? Noise for other people to talk about, but for us and how we approach it, it's about being the best football team on the field.
So there you go. That's DeMeco. He's saying the right things for a coach, but let's be serious, man. Like you mark your calendar for specific games. Let's be serious about that. And again, I think Texans Jets is my dream scenario. Now there is something that I think it deserves attention that I'll get to in a second. But here are my 5 most intriguing openers. And this is just my list. Cuss, discuss. Let me know if you think that this list is foolish or not. Just intriguing potential season openers in no particular order. Opener number 1 would be the Texans versus the Cows, specifically on Fox at 3:25. I know we're obsessed with Thanksgiving, but on Fox at 3:25, Tom Brady's first regular season game. Get a lot of attention. You got the Cowboys, always the high ratings, a lot of attention. Very quiet offseason versus the Texans. Battle for the state. Tom Brady's first game. So instead of this Thanksgiving stuff that we've kind of started salivating over and talking about the possibilities, you have the Texans versus the Cows, Tom Brady's first regular season game. That's opener number 1. Opener number 2, Texans versus Titans. A lot of people mad at them old Oilers. A lot of people hate this stanky one. Amy Adams stank. Oh, yeah, we have Cowboys Browns already. Okay, where have I been? That is right. There you go. Yeah, there's the leakage coming out already. So dismiss that. I do want Tom Brady to call a game, though. I do 100% want him to call a game. Okay, there it is. Tom Brady just said it with Strahan. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah. Been kind of out on that. So just completely disregard that. Opener number 2, Texans versus Titans. Don't tell me that the Titans are already playing too. That's a lot of beef. For me, that would be a waste. I mean, that would be cool locally, but nationally, like, he really wants to see the Titans. We can push that one to week 2. Or something like that. Texans, Jets, I've already made the case for that. A lot of people overthinking that. That's number 3. Number 4 would be any Monday night football game. Any Monday night football game. That would be my dream scenario. Monday night football. What if it was Jets versus the Jets versus the Texans on Monday Night Football? How lovely would that be? Texans versus Bills. Ronald's throwing out there. That would be cool. You got the Diggs scenario. And then opener 5, Texans versus Bears. I actually saw a comment. I forgot who said it. Well, it was prime time. I would like that. The Bears are a very, very exciting team. I think they got potential to be good. You catch them early. And then you get to see Caleb Williams in his first game versus CJ Stroud, kind of the standard. It's a home game, so you would have NRG popping. Chicago travels pretty well. I would actually be kind of intrigued by that. I don't have any anything against that. DeMeco Ryans, more from DeMeco Ryans. Kamari Lassiter. I'm gonna drop a Kamari Lassiter video tomorrow. I was gonna do it today, but I'm just gonna drop it tomorrow, 2:00. Was he really telling the truth about DeMeco, the clip that went viral? Try to investigate that, talk about some other stuff with him. So be on the lookout for that one tomorrow, dropping it 2:00. But here was DeMeco talking about the fit of Kamari Lassiter.
All right, you said he could play both inside and outside. How will you determine whether you're going to put him out at a certain position first versus another position?
Right. Well, with Kamari, we'll again, he's a very sharp young man. He can play inside and he can play outside. He did that at Georgia, and we'll whatever that day calls for, we'll put him out at corner, we'll put him at nickel, and we'll see what happens.
You said the other day when we were talking to you at the golf tournament about the rookies and how one of the things is trying to get them to, I don't want to say relax, but something like that. They come in, they're excited, they were the best in their class, many of them. Is that one of the biggest challenges for them outside of like the heat and learning terminology and all that?
Oh, yeah. It's a new space for them, so there's a little nervousness about it, and they are uptight because it's a lot of unknown. You step into an NFL building the first time for these guys, a lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty. So they are a little uptight, a little nervous, that's true for every rookie. That's human nature, right? And I tell the guys too, they definitely have to relax, but it takes time. Once they continue to be here every day and see how we do things, they'll get used to it and they'll relax a little bit.
All right, there you go. So Kamari Lassiter, inside, outside, it really doesn't matter. If he's a good outside corner, that's great. If he's good inside, that's fine. But it's there seems to be dialogue that he's got to be your number two guy. I mean, nickels are pretty important. If he's an elite nickel and you can move him around, then there's some value in that. So I'm intrigued by the whole rookie class. The Lassiter fit is obviously a strong part of the dialogue. So Strahan just brought Tom Brady up, and they're just dropping the schedule release, huh? That's what you get for taking the nap during the trying to get back off that island time, that Hawaii island time. But there we go. That was DeMeco on Lassiter. Final thing from DeMeco before I get into just the chatter that I can't get away from, and perhaps the worst case scenario for the Texans. I appreciate everyone for coming through. I think we're about 200 deep here. Be sure to like the video. It helps. Subscribe, comment, whether you can call me a jackass, dumbass, whatever. It's all love, no matter what. It's not really that serious. I'd like the haters as much as the lovers, because it's sports and it's good to have some Texans passion here. But here's DeMeco on the advantage of having a young core. So you have these rookies, and then you have a leadership group of a bunch of guys in their early 20s. Coach, is that an advantage? Don't look too bored, sir.
Yeah.
It's really a huge advantage having young guys. Our draft class from last year and the year before, we have a really solid group of young players, right, who they know the way. They know how it should look. They know what the standard looks like. And so it's funny, I put up a picture of Will Anderson in our room, said, you guys want to understand our culture and what we're about, right? Follow 51, right? Okay. That's what it looks like. Okay. And for me to be able to say that, right, it's not me having to say it with words. It's like, just watch the way 51 works and you'll see what a Houston Texans culture is all about.
We appreciate you, Coach. Man, he loves Will Anderson. I mean, that there you can tell they wanted to get both of those guys, for sure. I think Will Anderson's going to take the next step. I think we're talking double-digit sacks. I think we're talking elite, advanced stats, and elite production. I think we're going to get that. In a strange way, the position he plays, the way in which he played, might have been actually like a harder learning process than with CJ, especially given that I think he was hurt a lot of last year. So I'm really, really intrigued to see what happens with Will Anderson, and he is an easy guy to root for. I love talking to Will Anderson. Can't wait to talk to him again at training camp. I'm very pumped about what Will Anderson can do. And I'm also very optimistic that he will take that next step. All right. The whisper and the worst case scenario, I think, for the Texans, as you know, leaks are coming out. There's a lot of fake schedule leak sites. Some of them end up being right. Some of them just throw stuff against the wall and they end up being wrong. I've seen people try to predict what the game will be. I saw some guy got like a lot of attention for a video or something talking crap about Titans fans, and then all of a sudden he's talking about his sources are saying they're playing Kansas City. Like, just enjoy yourself, man. You do your thing. You don't have to try too hard and get too thirsty for stuff like that. But there's going to be all types of dialogue. There's going to be all types of conversation about what the schedule is going to be like. It's all good, man. It'll be interesting. But there is one thing that I'm starting to really wonder about. And again, it is the locker room. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. My day job is Sports Radio 610 in the Loop, 10 to 2. Me and John Lopez, we've been together for damn near 8 years. He's been doing this for 4 decades. Congratulations on the 4-decade anniversary last Monday. And sometimes Lopez he'll just kind of get this look where he'll say something and sometimes he'll just make, he doesn't mind being wrong. He'll make predictions and the predictions can be wrong. Sometimes the predictions can be right, but sometimes he'll say something and he'll just say it in a way in which it's like, all right, when you've been, in the city as long as he has, you figure some stuff out. And the most extreme example I can remember was it was actually draft day of 2023. And he came in, he said, they're taking CJ Stroud. And I mean, he wasn't just like pounding the table. He wasn't reporting. He was like, yeah, I think it's going to be CJ Stroud. And sure enough, they ended up taking CJ Stroud, and Lopez was right. And it's not something where I press him. It's not something where, I mean, if you listen to the show, I'll be like, okay, well, what? But it's more of like a fun thing because, sometimes he hears things, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong. But the thing today that he was talking about was the Texans potentially being in London. And the Vikings are on the schedule. That's a road opponent. They're in London, and so are the Jags. So 2 of the 3 teams that are in London, and they're the home team. They're a road opponent for the Texans, but they'll be the home team in London. The Vikings and the Jags are on the Texans schedule. The Bears are on the schedule too, but they're coming to NRG. Lopez had a little bit of a smirk today when he talked about the Texans potentially playing in London. And I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he knows something, but I've seen this look in his eye. And the last time I saw this look in his eye was when, again, draft day 2023, CJ Stroud. Some people hate Europe. I don't dislike it. I actually think it's fine. The Jags actually, they kind of revived their season last year in their 2-week Europe stay. Now it's different for them because they're used to it. They do it every year. There was even speculation about them playing even more games there. I like getting up at 9 a.m. and getting the game over. So we would watch the game at 9, and then I would do the pregame or postgame, I should say, locker room postgame show. If you're new to it, that's usually when it gets the most rowdy in here. I like the London experience. I think the London experience is fun, and I'm not sitting here saying that I would like bet money on it, but I think if you it seems like if you want to bet against it with Lopez, right or wrong, I think he'd be willing to bet you anything. And we don't try to be newsbreakers. That's why I kind of roll my eyes at my sources are telling me that the Texans are going to take on the Chiefs just because you have a few TikTok videos. I think that's weird. But I do think that Lopez is kind of saying it without saying it. So I would keep an eye on that. I don't know when they're going to announce those games. Could happen soon. Maybe it doesn't happen. NFL is pretty interesting when it comes to the schedule. Sometimes I think they just leak stuff to leak it. But Texans in London, I would like it. I think it's a unique viewing experience. And I would keep a close eye. I love like just brunching out, espresso martinis, watching the game, get jazzed up, get you some damn chicken wings at 9 a.m. Assuming places open. Some places won't even be open. You'll probably have to go to like an On the Curb or something like that, or wherever. You can just watch it at home. But yeah, I'm a fan of the London stuff, and I would keep a close eye on it. I am keeping a close eye on it. Worst case scenario, Christmas Day. A lot of people intrigued by potential Thanksgiving Day game. I like the occasional Thursday night game, and quite frankly, it's just a way of life these days. Chances are you're going to play on Thursday night at some point, especially if you're a good squad. Here's the problem though with Christmas. If the Texans play on Christmas, and I don't know if they will or won't. I know there's some people talking about the Cowboys and crap, but whatever. Here's my problem though with the with Christmas Day and why it's a little bit of a situation. Because if you look at this calendar right here, and this is the 2024 calendar, Christmas Day falls on a Wednesday. So if you're playing on a Wednesday in December, and let's say you play the Sunday before, we already make a big enough deal about Thursday, Sunday to Thursday. Are you telling me that you would play Sunday and then play Wednesday? Or do you go from Sunday to Thursday, then to Wednesday? That seems like a lot. And I'm sure the NFL would make it make as much sense as possible. And I'm sure they're not going to put crappy teams on Christmas Day. But just for the sake of, and I don't think this is like the Jets crap where you're overthinking it, but just for the sake of not even having to participate in that exercise later on, whenever the schedule releases, I would rather them just not play on Wednesday. That's just me though. We can agree, we can disagree, but get rid of that agree to disagree crap. That's garbage. Let's just agree or disagree. Let's not agree to disagree. You don't need to do that. That's just creating another fight. That's one of my least favorite sayings. Let's agree to disagree. Nah, we're good, man. We can just flat out disagree. One thing we do agree on, though, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Listen to In the Loop, Sports Radio 610, Odyssey app right here on YouTube. Kamari Lassiter video dropping at 2:00. Schedule leaks coming down the tailpipe. Hell, some that even might slip through the cracks in here. And I appreciate y'all for coming through. It's been another edition of the Locker Room. My goodness, I love the schedule release. Fun times. Jets, Texans, that's my best case scenario. What's yours? Let me know. Appreciate you for coming through. Talk to ya on In the Loop, Sports Radio 610.
Yeah, it's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, Locker Room. Yeah, we in the Locker Room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up, we number one. You don't need to try your luck.